Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to do a quick guide on how to get ready for your next scenario. In this particular guide, we're getting ready for the Way of the Winter, but this guide will work for basically moving from one scenario to any scenario, and it'll be your checklist of what to do to get ready so that when you move over to the new scenario, you're all set and you have everything that you need. So we'll get started. The first thing that you're going to want to do, if you've already been in another scenario before and you've moved to a new scenario, all of the stuff from your previous scenario ended up going over to your Eternal Land. So when you do the move again, you're going to end up being overflown in the Eternal Land and you'll end up with a temporary backpack, which you'll need to clear out or you'll lose everything. So one of the things that I recommend to start off is to go to your Eternal Land and clear that out so that it is ready for when you make this next transfer. So if we hit escape here and then we click on this little Eternal Land thing, from here we can go to manage materials, and then we can go to sell, and then in here we're going to click on this little icon. So this is everything that is currently in your Eternal Land. So you can see I have a ton of stuff. Now I've already done a cleansing on mine before, so I don't have as much stuff as some other people might have. But basically you're going to want to go in here, you're going to hit S, and then you're just going to start selecting stuff, and you're going to break this down so that it becomes astral sand. And that way, when you are ready to move over and all the stuff from your current scenario heads to your Eternal Land backpack, you'll have room to store it and you won't have to deal with the temporary backpack. So you just select everything and then hit sell, clear it out, and make sure that you're ready to go over. Now they are going to be doing a push to get people to play in the Eternal Land. Eternal Land, for those that don't know, is essentially like a big sandbox where you can go in and you can build anything you want, and they have different rules for building, so you don't have to worry about the stability and stuff. You can build bridges forever, so it's just like a fun thing. And they added a new portal, so if you click on here and then you go to island roaming, they have a section where you can see all the different ones, and you can basically go to other people's Eternal Lands and see what kind of cool stuff that they've built over there. And then you have the ability to thumbs up somebody. So if I liked this particular guy, I could give him a thumbs up, and then what that's going to do is if they get more thumbs up, their image becomes larger, and then that will say, hey, you know, this guy's like a premier place, maybe you should go check him out. He's probably got some really cool builds over there. So during the 1.3 patch, there's going to be 2 events that happen in the Eternal Land, so we will be going there in the next couple weeks. So get familiar with this because you're going to be spending some time there. It is a really cool idea. I like that they're kind of pushing people to get there, because what I've seen is most people really don't understand what Eternal Land is for or why it's there. But it's a great place to store like previous builds, because you can go in and drop blueprints. They're going to allow us to be able to take blueprints from there. So if you want to do like some builds and then blueprint it there and then bring it to the real world, you'll be able to do that in the future. And then you can also like have parties. If you're into PvP, one of the cool things, I know they said they weren't going to do arenas, but you can set up your own Eternal Land with like your own arenas, because you can PvP in there, and essentially you can have people come there and you can host like tournaments and stuff. So Eternal Land is cool. It does have a place in the game, so that's just a little bit about that. Moving on. The next thing that you're going to want to do if you're moving to the Way of Winter in particular is you're going to want to make sure that you get all of the accessories. So if I go in here to show you what I'm talking about, whoops, if I go to my gear and then say I click on here and then go to accessories, all of these right here that you see, you're not going to be able to get anymore unless it's like stuff that's been purchased. But all the stuff that you find in the land, that's going away with the land. They've said, and you can check out my patch notes video, I go over, you know, what they've added, but essentially they've added all new accessories, all new mystic crates, all new recipes, all new treasure chests. So we're going to get a whole plethora of new ones unlocked. So if there's any of the old ones that you want, you're going to want to go ahead and get those. Now I'm going to show you an easy way to do this. So here we have the mapgenie.io once human maps, and it's now caught. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description, but essentially if you go through here and you're going to hit hide all, and then what we're looking for are mystic crates. Now these are going to be the mystic crates at all the different silos, and these have usually fragments in it, weapon armor fragments that you're going to use to upgrade your gear. So it's pretty important to get this stuff. However, you know, not as important as grabbing these recipes, so make sure you click recipes. And then you also have the blueprints you're going to want to make sure you grab. And then the final thing that you're going to want to get are these treasure chests. So this is the list of items that you want to get, and as you go through, you can basically click on them and you can set that, you know, they've been found. So once you're finished that, you can say found, finish that, and then you can go through and gather all the stuff. At the least, I would focus on everything up in the high-end area, because this is all going to be like your legendary stuff. So make sure you grab all of this before you go, and if you have time, make sure you grab that. This is a great interactive map. They haven't put one out for the new area yet, which is going to be this entire area. So eventually we'll be able to use this for that. But yeah, that's the next thing that you're going to want to do before you leave, is make sure you grab all those accessories, mystic crates, recipes, treasure chests, because you will not have access to any of them on the new map, because we're getting all new ones. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to farm deviations that you're not going to be able to get in the new scenario. So I've made a list here of which deviations and where to get them if you want to bring them along to the new scenario, because they likely will not be available. So that list includes on PvP, Mr. Wish from Silo Sigma, because we won't have access to these silos or these bosses anymore. Pup Buddy on PvP, because Eddie and Blackfell's not going to be there. He is also found on a floating zombie near the road, near the Blackfell oil fields. That section's not going to be there anymore. Dr. Teddy from Theta, which we're not going to have access to. The Masonic Pyramid, which is a reward for the wars. The PvP only upper world spawn, which you get from Psy. Now, Psy Silo will be available. It's going to be PvE only, so we'll probably still be able to get the snow globe, but I don't think we're going to be able to get the upper world spawn. So if you're on PvP, make sure to go grab that. If you're on PvE, you're not going to have access to the atomic snail because of Prime Wars aren't going to be there. By the Wind, which is also from Prime Wars. The enchanting void, which is from Theta, since Theta is going to be gone. The Silo Phi is also gone, so that's the only way that we can get like the Pyro Dino and the Chephosaurus Rex. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to give us the ability to get him elsewhere, because that's a really good one to have, especially for cooking and stuff like that. And I feel like cooking is going to be a big part of the new Way of the Winter, so make sure that you run and you grab those before you leave. The Enchanting Void from Theta. The Atomic Lighter will probably be there because we are still getting EX1, but then we have the Monolith bosses like the Shadow Hunter won't be available, so getting the Festering Gel, which is one that a lot of people use, that probably won't be available. The Lone Wolf's Whisper from the Shadow Hound, which is another one that a lot of people like to use, probably won't be available. And Rebecca from the Leia Research Lab probably won't, because we do not have access. The next thing on your checklist is you want to check out the shops and make sure that you buy all the seasonal items. So here I'll take you over to the shops and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So the first shop here that we're going to talk about is Severin. So we're going to go over to him, and then essentially inside his shop he's going to have these Starchrom Crates. These take Stellar Planular, which you get from doing side quests, so make sure that you snag up all of those. On most of the servers there'll be 8. I think on Prismverse there's only 4, so you have like a little bit less. The next thing that you're going to want to grab, if you want, you can get these different accessories. They may be available on the new server, I'm not sure, but bare minimum you want to get these, anything with a seasonal limit, because this is essentially going to refresh and you're going to lose your chance to get this Starchrom, and each one of these are 500, so that's 4,000 Starchrom you'd be leaving on the table. The next thing that we're going to talk about is up here. If you go to your thing and then you go to seasonal goals, you want to make sure that you knock out as many of these as you can, because you're going to be leaving all of this Starchrom on the table. So just go through your challenges, do them for each week. So you can see here, you know, I'm on the 4th week, so I'll go through and claim it. Now, if you are leaving early, like you can see this one opens in 8 days. I'm going to be leaving early, so I'm not going to get access to this one, but I do want to make sure that I knock out at least as much of this as I can before I leave. That way I'm not leaving that stuff on the table. The next thing is in the phase section here. If you're on this Manibus phase here, you want to make sure that you grab all of these. Now again, I'm going to be leaving mine early, so I probably won't get access to these. So that's something to keep in mind, because Manibus is locked, but it is coming up, you know, soon. You might want to end up staying on the server a little longer and then joining late to Way of the Winter, because of the fact that, you know, you're leaving so much Starchrom on the table. Also, if you go in, you want to make sure that you've completed all of your Prime Wars on PvP or PvE on PvP. You want to make sure that you've done your wars each week. But essentially, I'm going to make sure that I go through and at least knock out these hard ones, because they're worth 1,000 Starchrom each. So make sure that you've knocked out as many as possible. You'll probably see a ton of people doing these tonight leading up to the Way of the Winter, because they want to make sure that they get as much Starchrom out as they can. The next thing that you want to make sure that you do is, if you are on a final phase, like phase 6 here, you want to go to your seasonal goals and then go to your season shop, and inside here under Starchrom Crate, you can go through and you can purchase all of these Starchrom boxes. Now again, if you're leaving early, this won't pertain to you, but if you're on a server where you've been waiting, make sure that you go in and grab these, because this is going to be a lot of Starchrom. So each one of these crates has 500, so I think it ends up being another 4,000 Starchrom that you can get. After that, the next thing that you want to do is make sure that you've cleared your wish machine, because you won't have access to this again. It's going to be a new wish machine on the new server. So just go into the wish machine, and then if you have anything that you want to get, like say I wanted to get the KVD Boom Boom frags, or I wanted to get the Hardy gloves, and I think this one, let's take a look, comes with... Oh, this comes with the shelter set. So I definitely want to do this. So you're going to want to go through and you're going to want to clear out anything that has stuff you like. I actually do have a Boom Boom set, so I'll probably clear this. I have 40k, so I'm going to use 20 of this right now to essentially get the Boom Boom frag, which is going to guarantee me another basically 2, because you're going to get 1 through doing it, or you'll get the weapon, and then you're going to get a bonus of the weapon after you've pulled all 20. So that's like a guaranteed 2 stars. Since I already own the Boom Boom, that means I'll probably be able to take it up to 3 or 4 stars. Same thing with the shelter set. If the shelter set is something that you want, make sure that you clear this out before you leave, because you will not have access to these easy frags anymore. And then you get a ton of fragments anyway that you can use to upgrade any type of gear that you have. So definitely don't forget to do your wish machine before you leave. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about is making sure that you have your advanced drill, and then either a pickaxe or an advanced logging chainsaw. To be honest, I think that having the pickaxe for chopping down trees is a lot better. One, it's cheaper to bring over because you're only going to get 20,000 points to bring over stuff. And two, it'll allow you to knock down the big trees to get the bunny. I'm assuming they're going to have big trees, but, you know, just in case, make sure you grab some bunnies on the way out the door. So make sure that you make your advanced electric rock drill, because anything made by memetics will not transfer over. So if you have a solar drill, you're not going to be able to transfer that. Any like gold or silver or things that you've had, you're not going to be able to transfer over. So just make sure that you have this advanced rock drill on you, and make sure that you either have a logging chainsaw or you have a pickaxe. And I'll probably go and make a pickaxe because I think I'd rather take that over. And then finally, just make sure that you have all your deviations that you want to bring over to the new scenario. If you need to go ahead and farm some 5s, do that now, because once you come over, they're going to be extremely helpful when you come in. As far as your weapon goes, if you plan on bringing a weapon over, which is very expensive, you can go ahead and do that. Just make sure that it's leveled all the way up, so that when you do bring it over, you have a good, 10 out of 10 weapon. So like this one here, I only have calibration of 9, so I'm going to want to go and make sure that I boost that up to 10. I will probably bring this over because it has a rapid crit on it, and I don't have the blueprint for a rapid crit. So sometimes, like, it can take almost an entire season just to find that particular item. So if you have If you have the calibration that you want, bring over the calibration. It's way cheaper. If you don't have the calibration, I recommend probably souping up your pistol or whatever you're bringing over and then bring that over, because finding calibrations can be a pain. Finding mods are going to be a lot easier with the new way that they're doing the mod stuff, and again, I talked about that in my last video, so make sure to check that out, because that is probably the most exciting thing that I found in the 1.3 patch notes. So that's the video. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything, or if there's some tips that you prefer to share. Make sure you smash the like button if you think I captured everything, and don't forget to subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out a lot of new Way of the Winter guides in the upcoming weeks. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.